be sincere for just one moment. I know in a comedy show sometimes sincerity is a bit, but it is a bit. But I do love how close they are. Mum loves Alice to bits, and if I could go back in time and tell 14-year-old me that one day, not only would Mum be absolutely fine with having a gay daughter, she would also just love my girlfriend to bits, I think my heart might have exploded with joy. Okay, and yeah, it's sweet, isn't it? And not long after we got engaged, went out for dinner with like a load of my family. And I mentioned this big working class family, and they're all cool with the gay, they're all cool with the gay. I remember coming out to my Uncle Marty years ago, I said, Uncle Marty, I'm gay. And he went, what, like full time? And I said, yeah, because if anything, I'm doing it more than 40 hours a week. And he said, I don't blame you, baby, I won't fancy shagging a geezer either. So, you know, on the whole, they're very supportive. And we were all out for dinner, all the family were out for dinner, and Mum and Alice are sat over there, I'm over with my dad, and Mum and Alice are over there, and I'm watching them talking, and they're laughing about something, and I'm just like loving how close they are, and just watching them and watching them. They're laughing and laughing and laughing, and eventually they stop laughing. Mum looks at Alice, then looks at me, and goes, oh, Suze, she's my favourite out of all of them you've had. That's wicked, cheers, Mum, that's going to be an awkward car drive home, thanks so much. That's wicked. But Mum's always been the one that's stood up for me. She's always been there for me in everything that I've done. I'm very lucky to have my mum. She's brilliant. When I was at school, I had a terrible time at school, really rough time at school. I wasn't very good at school. I was severely dyslexic at school, really badly. So I can tell how dyslexic I am. When I drive into Wales, their signs make more sense to me. That's the level I have. Oh, the fluff, I'll get some petrol, lovely. So, there was a teacher at school that hated me, he absolutely hated me. His name was Mr. Crossland. And his way of punishing me would always be to make me read aloud from the textbook. Now, because of my severe dyslexia, I'd often make a mistake. Now, on one occasion, I was reading aloud from this textbook and I misread a word, Chorley. I misread the word organism. Yeah. Sure, some of you are ahead of me. A couple of dyslexics, not a fucking clue. Okay? I said orgasm in front of 33 15-year-olds. What happens next? The class erupts. People are laughing, people are crying. One boy at the back was slapping his thigh like he was in panto. I was thinking, bloody hell, this feels good. Is this a job? And Mr. Crossan didn't like me getting a big laugh. Looking back, I find this very shocking. I was a very dyslexic child from a very working class background. He dragged me out in front of the whole of the class and he said to me, Susie Ruffle, you mark my words, you will never amount to anything. First heckle. Okay? How am I doing it? Think on your feet, Ruffle, think on your feet. Quick as a flash, I said, I'm about to more than you, wanker. Huge laugh, okay? People can't believe it's happening, I'm high-fiving my way out of the classroom. Headmistress comes, takes me to her office. Says, I'm very sorry, Susie, we'll have to ring your mum and dad. So please can Mum answer the phone. She can see no wrong in me. That's how this has happened. Soz. Dad can see all the wrong in me. I'm just like my dad, he can see all the wrong in me. Mum's not in. Dad comes up the school, driving a pickup truck. You know, wearing a sheepskin. It was mid-July, but he'd found his look. Right? Goes into the teacher's office, she tells him the story, Dad goes mad, Sus! This is bang out of order, you can't be swearing at your teachers. I said, Dad, please let me explain. He said, no, Suze, I don't care what the explanation is. You embarrass yourself, don't you? You've embarrassed me. I said, Dad, please let me explain. So go on then, try and get yourself out of this. I said, well, Mr. Crossan doesn't like me, right? And he makes me read aloud from the textbook, and because I'm dyslexic, I made a mistake, right? And everybody laughed, and then he dragged me out in front of the class, and he told me I would never amount to anything. So I called him a wanker. And Dad took this in, and then looked at the headmistress and went, that does sound like a type of thing a wanker would do. I got a letter of apology, it was wicked. So I didn't like school. I hated school, and I wasn't very good at school. And I remember when I got to about 15, I thought, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. And I said to Mum, maybe I'll go to university or something. Maybe I'll go to university, I'll try and get good enough grades to go to university. And Mum went, oh, Suze, come on, your brother's the clever one, you can tap dance. Like that, some sort of alternative career choice. I did tap, I tapped when I was a kid, I loved tapping, and I used to go to musical theatre club. Now I know that the Chorley Theatre have an Amdram Society. I did that a lot when I was a kid. I absolutely loved the Amdram Society that I went to, and it was full of like little weirdos like me, and it was brilliant. And I'm not saying that it's all full of weirdos, just the one that I went to, full of weirdos. And I was definitely one of the weirdos, and I loved being a weirdo, and there was a weirdo there. We all weirded together. And it was great, it was brilliant. We put on little shows, and it was brilliant. It was a perfect place for a little gay girl to hide. You know, because I could put on a wig, put on old lady makeup, do an accent that retrospectively I regret. You know, it was a perfect place. Gay boys do not have that luxury when they're kids. You know, if they like song and dance, put on wigs, pretend to be old ladies, that is very much one of the clues. Very much one of the clues. And even now, my mum's the person that I go to. When I was, I found a few years ago, I wondered whether I was going to carry on doing stand-up for a while. I did wonder. I thought, I'm not sure if this is what I want to do with my life. It's really hard getting ahead. It's really difficult. And I said to my mum, you know, I'm thinking about giving up. Mum said, oh no, Sue, don't give up, don't give up. Don't give up, right, okay? Because to be good at anything in the world, you've got to do it for years. You've got to do it for years and years and years and years and make progress, and you've got to believe in yourself, right? Next time you've got low confidence, right, what you've got to do is you've got to think about that sign in Wilkinson's home department. And I said, what? She went, there's a sign in the Wilkinson's home department and it means believe in yourself. I said, what are you talking about? She went, the sign in the Wilkinson's home department that means believe in yourself. It says, dance like everyone's watching. I said, Mum, that's not what that sign says. That sign says dance like nobody's watching. And my mum went, why would you do that? I said, I think it's about not caring what people think of you dancing, like dancing anyway. Mum went, I won't care what people think of my dancing. We're a family with natural rhythm, which is true. We're also a family that don't read and write good. That is the truth. But I'm pleased I kept up with it. Now I'm going all over the country. I'm doing my biggest tour of my career, which is amazing. Playing venues like this all around the place for the next sort of 6 months, which is brilliant. I feel so lucky to be able to do it. It's amazing. And I do occasionally do telly. And I mentioned before I'm at that weird level of fame. I occasionally get recognised. Most of the time I don't. I realise I'm not a famous person. But it happened to me a little while ago. I was in a shop and it was a very embarrassing situation being recognised. Now I'm going to mention the name of a shop to you. I would assume 100% of the people in the room won't have heard of this shop. Okay, I was in a shop in East London called Shush. All right. Now it's a shop in East London that sort of sells your lesbian accoutrements. You know your lesbian accoutrements. You know your accoutrements. You know your bits and your bobs. You might want to pop into your bits and your bobs. You know your lesbian accoutrements, right? And I find buying things like that very embarrassing. I find all that sort of thing very embarrassing. I don't really like talking about sex. I find it all very embarrassing. But I was in the shop and the thing is, when I'm in that situation, two things are happening simultaneously in my brain. One side of my brain is going, Susie, you're an adult woman in the world, and if you want an accoutrement to have a good time, you have an accoutrement to have a good time. You engage with sexuality and you be proud of who you are in this world. And the other part of my brain is going, vibrators! So, that's sort of what I'm doing. So I'm looking at the accoutrements. Oh, we also had a bag you could keep your accoutrements in. They had named it the pleasure pouch. I was like, guys, you've absolutely missed a trick. That is 100% dildo baggins. Don't take that. Good to find the level of my audience and indeed my own stand-up comedy. Now, I'm looking at the things and I'm feeling a bit embarrassed. A lady who works in the shop is standing over there and she's staring at me. She's really staring at me. Now, but at this point in the show, you probably worked out I quite like an audience, but not in this situation, okay? So she's really staring at me. Eventually she comes over to me and she goes, I know you! I was like, oh no, please not now. Please don't ask for a selfie with that in the background. My mum might see that. I went, I don't think you do. She went, no, I think I know you. We must be friends of friends. And I was like, oh, I'm not sure. Who knows? Oh, I'm not sure. Not sure. And she was like, okay, I'll have a think. Let me know if you need any personal recommendations. Okay, that seems weird. Okay. At that point, I thought I need to leave the shop if I'm very embarrassed. So I sort of started to pussyfoot, and I chose that word out of the shop. And at that point, she recognised me. She was like, oh, you're a comedian! And I was like, oh shit. And she went, I've seen you on stuff. And I was like, oh thanks, hi, hello. And she went, no, come on. Oh, I've seen you live. I went to one of your shows. And I went, oh, that's very nice of you. Thank you for coming. She went, no, come on. I've seen you at work. You're at my work now. Let me help you. Absolutely not. That is not how this is going. No, thank you. I'm very embarrassed. This is not tit for twat. No, thank you. That's very much a joke for someone that enjoyed dildo baggins. That's very much the extra joke for those people. If you didn't enjoy dildo baggins, you must be like, fuck this. It's very silly. It's very silly. It's a bit rude. But it was quite good because I couldn't afford to buy anything at the time because Alice and I had been saving to buy a flat for what feels like, forever. It's very difficult. Now, I'm sure many of you have done it when you're trying to, when you have to rent somewhere and you're also trying to buy somewhere at the same time. It's so difficult. It's so difficult. You start to think to yourself, oh, was I involved in an accident that wasn't my fault? Bloody hell, that'll be useful about now. And we got all of our money together and we were like, oh, what can we afford? And it was nothing. And then we got all of our money together again and we still couldn't afford to get a deposit, but we could afford to get onto like this government scheme to help to buy. And so then we had to go and meet our estate agent. Now, our estate agent was called Ryan. It was called Ryan, yeah, it was called Ryan. Okay, Ryan. Ryan was about 20, but he looked about 13. And that was not helped by the fact that he turned up to a business meeting on a scooter. Okay. He also had a top knot, dress shoes, no socks, and the worst suit I've ever seen. He looked like he was in an amateur production of Bugsy Malone. It was not good, okay? He's like, oh, yeah, girls, yeah. Before we begin, I want to let you know, that I've helped a lot of people buy their first flats, and I've actually helped a lot of friends buy together. And I was like, oh, we're getting married. And then he went, where are your husbands going to live? No, we're going to have to go back one, aren't we? We're getting married to each other. And he went, yeah, wicked, cool. There was a girl in my year at school that was a lesbian. Do you know her? No, we don't all know each other. I mean, turns out I did. She goes to my gym. But that's neither here nor there. Then you've got to start looking around properties. That's what I've learned from trying to buy a flat is people don't give a shit. It starts getting sent pictures to people's houses. Oh, people are vile, aren't they? Oh, they are, they're vile. Like, oh, go on, Bab, have a dust. Come on, treat yourself. Do them plates in the sink, come on. Have a dust. Plates in the sink, unmade beds. There was one picture showing a communal garden. In the corner of the picture, there was an Alsatian halfway through a shed. You would see him concentrating, you're like, I'll give him 5 seconds, or crop it out. Then you go and view these places. Sometimes I'll turn up to a flat and I'll be like, there's no way we're living here. There's no way we're living here. But, because you've made the trip, and the estate agent is there, then you've got to partake in this weird sort of pantomime, where you pretend you might live in a shithole. Just walking around and, yeah, it's got promise. Then Ryan would start saying really stupid things, but there's a wardrobe there, you can keep your clothes in that. Thank God you're here. Thank God you're here. I was going to put mine in the dishwasher. Oh my God, it was ridiculous. We couldn't find anything. What Alice and I had to do is we had to be a bit more open-minded about where we were going to live. That was the thing. Because to begin with, Alice and I have lived, luckily, in quite central London, in Shoreditch, for a long time, okay? And so we were like, we're kind of city girls, we kind of girls that live in the city, we're kind of city girls that live in the city, we're like Carrie Bradshaw, we are city girls. And then we looked at our budget, and we were like, it turns out we are not city girls, we're definitely not city girls, we are not city girls. And so we had to go south, we had to go south east, we had to go south, south east, we had to go south, south east, east, south, south east, south, south. Has anyone heard of Kent? We're a couple of Kents now. And it's good, it helps you work out who your real friends are. And some of you may have experienced this if you move out a little bit. Make sure you work out who your real friends are. Who's willing to make the trip to your new gaff. And do you know what, mate? Do you know what? If you're not willing to get on a train, a tube, 3 buses, a hovercraft, a jet ski, then get on a funicular railway, do a 10k walk to get to my house, maybe me and you aren't as close as I thought we were. Then you got to move in. Move in, shit. Oh my God, I hated it. I hated it so much. I thought about just leaving the country. I've decided there's 3 stages of moving. First stage, you tell yourself that you're excited, but you're not, it's denial. It's denial. You start saying things like, we're just going to make it fun, we're going to make it really fun, we're just going to make it really fun. First day of packing, put on a record. Start doing all the really easy stuff, just the books. I've done a box, do you want a pint? Second stage of moving, emotion. Okay. Because Alice and I had lived in our place for quite a long time. So it felt like every time we got to the bottom of a big drawer or cupboards and stuff, you'd find something a little bit sentimental. Find birthday cards or letters from people. Sometimes you'd find letters from people that aren't around anymore. And you're up sitting on the edge of the bed, reading it. Oh, look at that. I don't mean people that have died. I mean people you've cut out.